Hey everybody, it's Mike Sullivan with Born to Shine. Today we have a really cool guest. He's from Illinois and his name is Ken Byrne. And Ken, thank you, brother, for sharing
Yeah,
some time with us
absolutely.
today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really going to enjoy this experience.
Yeah, likewise. Well, what was your journey like to get in the position that you are as a leader? You're out in Lansing, Illinois, in such a cool district, and I've been blessed to work with, your colleagues, Dr.
Mhm.
Schilling and Dr. Kostopoulos, and now I get
Yes.
to the pleasure of meeting you. And
Yeah,
what
yeah,
was your journey like to
yeah,
to be on
for
that
sure.
team?
Yep, and both Dr. Schilling and Dr. Kostopoulos, they're amazing people to work with. Um, and so I'd say I believe this is my 20th year in education.
Wow, cool.
So right out of college, went into, and the vast majority, I would say maybe about 99% of that, of those 20 years have been with this district. And then I'll get into the piece that, the well, 1% or whatever, that I wasn't here, but it'll tie in with everything else I'm going to say nicely. But so yeah, 20 years ago, I took a fifth grade position at Revis Elementary School in the district. So we have three elementary schools. We have a primary center and we have a junior high. And I started as a fifth grade teacher at Revis for, I want to say that was probably 8 or 9 years. They all, it happened so fast, like getting through the 20 years. And sometimes if I'm not looking at the year by year, um, it's tough to decide like how many years specifically teaching, but I would say about 9 years teaching, fifth grade. And you know what, that was a great learning experience. Right out of college, you go to college and you go through all the coursework and the where the learning really starts to happen, where you start to figure things out, like student teaching. And then your first year in the classroom, like that is, you learn so much. And it's different than being in the classroom and reading a book and, learning all these theories and all of that. But then you get into the classroom and it's in practice, it's real life. There's so many factors that you have to take into consideration as a teacher. It's definitely overwhelming. Uh, I give all the credit in the world to teachers and paraprofessionals and administrators. It is a tough job. So yeah, 9 years teaching Revis fifth grade, all fifth grade. And in between, I've done summer school and worked with a lot of great people. And then after that time, I went to Coolidge Elementary School to be assistant principal, and that was like that change was probably like a week or two before the start of the school year. So at that point, I had to pack up my classroom um, at Revis and then get acclimated to Coolidge. And again, you go through your master's program for school administration and you learn all these theories, but getting in there and actually, being in that role, it's so different. But you learn so many things. And so as an assistant principal, that was, I would think maybe that's like 6 years or so. And then after that, I was associate principal for operations and activities. So, it's kind of between assistant principal and principal. And that was at the same school. That was at Coolidge Elementary School. And that was for, a couple more years, maybe three or so. And then I took another job as a principal in another school, and I'll kind of get into that experience. And then after that, came back here as the support programs coordinator, and I've been in this role for this is the second full year, so it's probably around by the end of this year it'll be 2.5 years, so about 2 years right now, full. And honestly, I love where I'm at right now. I feel like I was meant for this role. The different people that I get to work with, I I get to work with administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, families. It's really another part of what I do too, and we could talk about it later. Just a lot of community involvement. And I find myself enjoying that a lot. Just trying to set up supports for people. So yeah, 20 years, kind of shortened down into, a brief little description there, but as a teacher, assistant principal, associate principal, and now support programs coordinator, and that's at the district office. So yeah, it's a new role. I'm still learning things every day, but I am really enjoying this role.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And Dr. Schilling was like, "You got to have Ken on your
Yeah.
podcast. He's going to be awesome." So I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sweet, that's a cool story." And thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
when you, Ken, were a kiddo, when you were K through 12, was there anything that you struggled with emotionally or mentally? For me, I was bullied. I had depression. I had anxiety.
Hmm.
ADHD, OCD, man, I had A through Z. I seriously, I was a train wreck. I was a total
Yeah.
mess,
Yeah.
and a lot of kids, all the data shows that kids are struggling now more than they ever have. And if someone's curious, I know I'm curious. Was there anything that you maybe struggled with when you
Yeah.
were a kiddo?
Yeah. So as a child, I know there's always bullying. Well,
Mm,
not always bullying, but bullying was around.
yeah.
So yeah, obviously, I've had those negative interactions with peers
Mm,
where people poke fun at, the way you look or the clothes you wear
mm,
or like weight. Because I was bigger. I'm a bigger guy now, but I was a big kid. And of course, people make comments about that. Um, but going through life, it was like I didn't really learn the things that I was dealing with until later in life, like just more recently, like the past 3 years or so. So I too have some letters, diagnoses, I should
yeah.
say. I
We all
have,
do.
yeah, anxiety, panic disorder, major depressive disorder,
Mm,
some PTSD as well. So,
mm,
but again, I didn't know all that until later in life,
mm,
just more recently. So as I think about being a child now, like things kind of make more sense.
yeah.
And as I rewind back, like, oh, why did I do this? Like, why did I do this? It's like, oh, well, that's the anxiety.
Yeah.
That's the depression.
Right.
Um, the panic attacks. That started coming out later in life. And that was kind of the start of like, what's going on? Like, why, why, or as an administrator
Mm,
in the
mm,
building.
mm.
And again, being a teacher is very stressful.
Right.
Um, and thinking back on that now, I know there were times now, like, yeah, like all that stuff. Having stomach problems like every day. You just go about it. You don't know any better. You think it's normal.
Yeah.
But then it started elevating and increasing to the point where it was panic attacks every morning. So it's like
So
you
sorry.
don't, yeah, it's, you know, um, again, I tell my wife this, I tell other people, I would not change one thing that happened in my life because that put me where I am now.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the panic attacks in the morning, that was really the start of it. We're like, yeah, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, yeah, let's go talk to a doctor, figure out what's going on. And at that point, it was, oh, here's a Xanax. If you feel like you're gonna have one, pop a Xanax. And it's like, okay, this is, you do that, and taking that. Um, and it worked, for a little bit, but then I feel like the panic attacks happened more, and I was, having more anxiety. I didn't know it at the time, but um, and then like I said, it started increasing, getting more and more.
Mm,
And then right around the time where I had a job change, so as an associate principal, opportunity came up close to home that I wanted to try being a principal at another school. And Let me tell you that that was things. There was a lot of things that needed to get done, and like those panic attacks was more and more
Mm.
daily, um, and like again, like it was to the point, like I obviously the anxiety, um, my limbs would go numb, like
Mm.
my arms would go numb, like all the way down to my fingers. I'd have like chest pain,
Mm.
to where I thought, like I literally thought I got to the point where I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
So then it's like we went to the doctor, and of course, like having a panic attack too. Um, and from that is really where I started to learn like everything that was happening
Yeah.
with my body. So, but that man, that anxiety, all of that's no joke. That could really put on some physical symptoms.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
with digestive issues, with chest pain, with like I was in a place too, and again, that wasn't just the job change that did it, but as I think about it now, like going back like 4, 5, 6 years before that, like, just you'd feel a certain way and I couldn't really figure out what it was. It was
Mm.
like you'd get super mad, you'd have outbursts,
Mm.
just different things. Um,
Yeah.
but then so going in, like finally, like, this is ridiculous. I gotta go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So go in, having all this chest pain, and they give you some medicine so you calm down. And throughout that whole process, learning that, yeah, like we think you need to talk to like psychologists or
Yeah.
psychiatrists to try to
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah.
what's going on. So, you do all that, and through that process, it's like, yeah, well, okay, so this is anxiety disorder.
Hmm.
Um, this is the panic disorder. Also, everything that you were feeling, I I really, I was a different person. Like like you'd have a bout with depression, or, you're feeling a certain way, you're not really there. Like
Right.
I
I
remember
know I
my wife.
wasn't when I was
Yeah,
deep depression. I was like a zombie.
yeah,
Yeah. I get it. It's
yeah,
horrible.
exactly. Yeah, I remember my wife being like, "That's not you." It's like
Right.
that's
Right.
like you're not here. I'm like, "What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I am here." She's like, "No, like you're not here." And so, you listen to that and you're like, I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not here.
Yeah.
But then more and more, um, more and more time, things keep happening. And then, yeah, I find out I have depression. I'm like, oh, so that's why I was feeling that way. And
Yeah.
that's not normal. Like, you're not supposed to feel like that.
Right.
So again, all of that just kind of came to a head. And then I'm like, you know what? I gotta do a hard reset. Just because all that information and things were starting to make sense. And then I ended up going through cognitive behavioral therapy.
Mhm. Yes.
Um,
CBT.
and yeah, and so that was that. I start off like I didn't really want to go, but it was one of the best things to do,
Mm.
for me, given the situation, given that I had some time. And again, I wouldn't change anything. I learned a lot of different skills and a lot about what those diagnoses do to the body and how to, sense those levels. Like right now, my wife could ask me a question, be like, "Hey, like, what level of anxiety are you right now, or depression?" And I could give her an answer like that. Whereas before, I had no idea what it was. Like,
Yeah.
I thought everyone felt like that.
Yeah. I
You're
did too
supposed
when I was
to.
a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, you're not supposed to feel like garbage every day.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
between the cognitive behavioral therapy and some medication that really addresses,
Hmm.
um, as opposed to, like here, Papa Xanax when you're feeling like you're going to have a panic attack, but the SSRIs, one of them, those I'm on, and I feel like a completely different person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't dread things. I don't like it's just you take things as they come. I have very positive outlook. I'm clearly like I, like I'm there for my family now.
Yeah.
like I'm me, and they know
Yeah.
that and they see the difference. So
Yeah.
it's been a journey to get to this point, and like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. Everything happens for a reason. It just sometimes it takes a little bit of a storm to get through, and eventually, the sun will come back out. But yeah, thinking about everything that I've been through and what I know now, like going back to my childhood, it's like, yeah, like I was definitely struggling with anxiety
Mm.
as a kid or at high school or all these different things. I'm like, yeah, it's just making more sense now.
Yeah.
But again, it was at a time where I feel like people didn't really talk about that stuff,
That's right.
you know?
Yeah. It's
I feel
taboo,
like,
like a taboo subject.
yeah, I feel like it's better now. Uh, I feel like there's progress that still can be made. But
Sure.
I feel like it's getting better. And, if people listen and like if that helps just one person, that's what I tell people here at work. Like with if what I'm doing helps just one person, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Um, we do, I might skip around a little bit, but
Yeah. No, do it. Do it.
what I was
Now.
gonna do, I was just gonna talk about how like when I first started this role,
Yeah.
um, interviewed, and that was like February or March, maybe a couple years ago, and saw this position pop open for
Mhm.
support programs coordinator, and job requirements talking about SEL and working with the social workers on different initiatives or working with other staff members and just really being, as the name implies, a support
Yeah.
for staff and families.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it looked perfect. It looked like a perfect fit for me.
It is. Yeah.
Um, and again, like going through everything, um, yeah, it's funny how things work out. But when I first started, I really wanted to do things to help staff, to help families and students. So one of the things that we did, and we've had two of them now. We do a staff wellness fair in the beginning of the year. It's usually that first or second day where staff are back, and we there's a place in town called Fox Point in Lansing. It's an outdoor concert venue. So what we do is I'll bring in a bunch of community resources, um, resources like NAMI or other local organizations
Awesome.
that support mental health, and then
Nice.
some other things too for the staff, curriculum vendors and things like that, for staff to get resources. But then we also had a band come out
Oh, cool.
and play. The same band for both times. It's called the Boy Band Night. So I went to high school with one of the lead singer there, and he also champions mental health. And we both kind of teamed up on this, and we're like, you know what, we got to do something together. And I was telling him about my idea, and his band was open. Had an opening that day, and then obviously for last year too. And they put on a nice show for staff. Have some messages of hope and about taking care of yourself, and it's a really fun time. So I'd like to continue doing things like that for staff.
Yeah.
Um, we've also had health fair for the community to share resources. And again, that's had organizations like NAMI or substance abuse information on that. So, yeah, just and it it's really rewarding to do those types of things and to set those up. And I feel like again, everything happened so I could be in this point or this spot to be able to share all of these resources and share, the struggles that I've been going through. And um, yeah, and I know I'm not alone. I know there's teachers out there and administrators that feel the same way. It's like, oh man, I don't know if I could do another year of this or, or whatnot. But um, just taking care of yourself. I was never one to do that. But now I definitely see the importance of that, and wish I could wish I could have gone back and done it sooner. But you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know what I needed to do to make myself feel better, but now I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Ken, for
Yeah.
sharing that. That was awesome. And praise the
Mhm.
Lord that you're feeling better, right? And there
Yeah.
is no question that you are exactly where you're meant to be, right?
Mhm.
And God took that pain and turned it into your purpose, right? And now you have so much compassion, so much empathy, and you really want to truly support other people because you've been through it, right?
Mhm.
So you're exactly where you were made to be, and that's your story is amazing. I love it,
Yeah.
and
No, thanks.
so thank you. That's super
Yeah.
cool. Like, God doesn't make mistakes, right? We go through stuff, and
No.
you went through it, and now I want you to go support people that are going through that.
Absolutely.
So
It's yeah, it's awesome how it works out.
yeah, amen to that. And then
Yeah.
if there's someone watching, Ken, like a parent or a teacher or admin or even a student, and if they're going through some anxiety like you and I both share, or depression like you and I both share, wrestling with throughout our life, or if there's just anything else, panic attacks, ADD, OCD, whatever it is, something A through Z.
Yeah.
There's something that of someone that's listening to our voices right now that's going, man, can I get through this too? Like, what would you, or what are any words on your heart? Like, what would you like to share if
Yeah.
someone's going through this stuff that we went through when we were
Absolutely.
kids?
Yeah. No, yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So, one of the things that I've gotten that I'm getting better about is giving yourself that grace,
Mm,
and just kind
amen.
of if you're feeling a certain way, and I'm gonna shout out to my wife, Jennifer, just because I I attribute, this turnaround to her. Like I tell her all the time, like, hey, you saved my life, like
Mm,
legit.
mm,
Because I was in a pretty dark place for a
yeah,
while.
yeah,
Um, and going through all of this, and it's tough, but just if if you think about, um, I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. If it was someone else that was asking for help, you wouldn't feel like, because a lot of it, like with me, I was embarrassed. Like
yeah. Me too. I
I
was
didn't
too.
want to like
Yeah,
talk about it. I didn't want to share.
sure.
I'm getting a lot better about that now because it
There's
lets
no
people know
shame,
that
no
you're not
shame.
alone,
Right,
that
not
you're
alone.
not
No.
alone. So whoever's out there, struggling with things, just know like you have people that you can reach out to. If it's not a family member or a friend, there's a lot of good organizations out there.
Yeah.
Um, NAMI has been really supportive of the district initiatives. There's been a lot of other organizations too.
I'll
I know
throw the
there's
link in too. So if you're watching this, you're like,
yeah,
"What is NAMI?" It's NAMI. I'm going to put a link
yes,
in. They take care of families. They have all kinds of mental health support.
yes,
So yeah, and
absolutely,
and if you're not okay, it's okay. It's okay to
yeah,
not feel okay, right? So we all
absolutely,
are going
yeah.
through this, and we all need
And
each other.
yes, and you are not alone. Um, and there's even now organizations where you could text.
Yeah,
You have your phone, you text, and you can engage with someone then just to talk about how you're feeling. But it's it's difficult to take that first step to
right,
just kind of talk and be like, hey, I'm really struggling with this.
right.
Um, but again, you're not alone. You're
Yep,
not.
you're not
There's other
alone.
people that have gone through it, that that can help.
Yep.
And things will get better. Like if you go ahead and get that help and talk to people, like it won't always be so dark. It'll that sun will come back around.
Yeah, I love that. Ken, man, thank you so much. And just to repeat, can I share what you just shared if I get it right?
Yeah,
And if I get it wrong,
absolutely.
please help me.
Yes.
If you're listening to this, if you're a student, if you're an adult, whatever stage or age you are, you matter, you have value, and you're well, like Ken said, you're not alone, right? Your life has meaning, and there's a purpose and a plan for you. So we need you here. The world needs you, and you are not alone. There's tons of people that want to help you and support you. And if you feel overwhelmed, or if you're embarrassed like I was to reach out, there's no shame in it. And if you we all need a coach, right? We all need a coach. Like, Professional athletes, they need a coach. Michael Jordan, he had a coach, one of the best basketball players ever. He had a coach to just refine his game. So we all benefit from mental health coaches, right? To refine how we think, how we act, how we,
Hmm.
um, just how we work with this right here.
Yeah,
So, and if
absolutely.
we need meds to help with that, if there's a chemical imbalance, like I was born with that, yeah, I take a little bit of medicine and it helps so much. So I appreciate you being open to
Yeah,
share that. And
absolutely.
so many people do it, and there's no shame in it. So if you're
No.
watching, no shame. Reach out. You're not alone. Ask for help. There's so many people that want to help, and like Ken said, it won't last forever. And
No.
I didn't believe that when I was in my deepest, darkest depression. When I was thinking, it's never gonna end. It definitely does. So if you're watching this, you might not believe me or Ken, but it's true. It's not going to last forever. And just ask for help. And you're not alone. People care about you and they want to
Yeah,
help you
absolutely. Just one day at a time.
one day at a time.
One, even if you want to go break it down even more. So 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, set small goals, take baby steps.
Yeah.
Another thing that's helped me too, um, and I'm better about sharing that now too, is like I still talk to a therapist, and I
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
for,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's lifelong.
maybe 3 years or so.
Yeah.
Again, since all this kind of came to a head, and um, that's really nice to have that outlet to
Yeah.
help process through things.
Absolutely.
And so if, I will advocate for that. That has been really beneficial for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, Ken. Man, I love your heart. Thank you so much. And it's cool because I'm still having a coach too, right? Therapist. I
Hmm.
go and I get it's kind of a combo of cognitive behavioral therapy plus EMDR from my past trauma. So if
Okay.
anyone you're listening or watching, you're like, I may have had some trauma because I just am struggling.
Mhm.
Well, guess what? Welcome to being human. It's
Yeah,
normal. It's okay.
exactly. That's
And
right.
EMDR, if you're wondering, viewer, it's any kind of trauma. It's just a fancy schmancy acronym like SCUBA, right? For the whatever, self contained underwater breathing
Hmm.
apparatus. So
Yep.
it's eye movement desensitization, wait, EMDR, and reprogramming. So it's
Yep.
just a way of getting those neural pathways that, like for me, I would say I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. All the kids said I'm a loser, I guess I'm a loser. And then we develop these little paths in our brain, right? And we want to recreate new paths. So EMDR it helps a lot. It's been helping me to remove some of that past pain and past trauma and start to open up new neural pathways, healthier. So if you're going through trauma, anybody that's listening, EMDR,
Yeah.
it's great. And like cognitive behavioral therapy that Ken and I both have gotten over the years is great too.
Yeah.
And if there's a chemical imbalance, absolutely meds are a game changer. They have been for
Hmm.
me. I take 10 milligrams of Lexapro every morning, and it is helps with the OCD. It helps with the depression. It takes the like stickiness of a thought that I just can't let go. It just lets it
Yeah.
go. So
I love how you just described that because, yeah, that's so true. Before I would always just ruminate on
yeah,
stuff,
ruminate totally.
second guess and
Me too.
overthink,
Me
and
too.
now it's so different.
Yeah.
I feel like my brain works differently now.
Yeah.
I feel like now that I'm like everything's balanced, like
Yes.
I see and understand things differently than it was before. It was so clouded before.
Yeah, same. It's like even on a sunny day, it was like gray skies for me. I just remember that. Like I don't understand. It's blue skies, but it feels
Yep.
gray. It just and
Yep.
inside it felt black and gray and
Hmm.
dark and miserable and cold. And it's like, wait, it's 75 degrees.
Yeah.
It's Lake Michigan at Oak Street Beach. Why am I
Hmm.
miserable? So
Yeah.
chemical imbalance. I loved how you actually said it. That just things feel balanced and are
Yeah.
clear.
Hmm.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe even a big part of today is just it's okay if there's a chemical imbalance. It's okay to take meds. There's no shame in it.
Yeah.
It would be like saying I'm a diabetic and I'm not going to take a shot for my insulin. So then what happens is the person dies. Not good. It's the same. You
Hmm.
have or if we break a leg, we need to have it set. We need to have a cast. There's
Yeah.
no shame in that. It's the
No, not
same.
at all.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and you're awesome, Ken. This is cool.
Oh,
Now,
thank you,
now I
Mike.
see why. I see your heart.
Yeah.
And the empathy and compassion, and grace and care. is oozing out of you, and I love it, dude. It's like I had a music producer say that to me in LA sometime about like, yeah, I see how much you love music. It's oozing out of
Yeah.
you, and I was like, I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna so the care and compassion and your love for students and families are it oozes
Mhm.
out of you. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Music too. You mentioned music has
Yeah,
been huge for me throughout my whole life, but now like it got me through those
yeah,
dark times, you
yeah.
know. And one of the musicians, and I know you were at our schools performing um, before a couple of years ago, and that
Yeah.
was like right when I came back to the district.
Oh, no
And
way.
I don't know if you remember meeting me, but that's okay if you
Oh,
didn't.
crazy. Okay.
So um, one of the musicians that really helped me a lot was is a blues guitarist, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, yeah.
And
Incredible.
I got his
Oh,
tattoo.
no way.
Kind of hard
That's
to see
so
that, but
cool.
it's his number one Fender
Pride,
Strat
Pride
on
and
my
Joy.
arm.
No way. Because his song
Yeah,
Pride and Joy, I always thought that is
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, she's my one little thing. She's my pride and joy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So
that,
yeah, that I got to remind me just that, music is here, help get me through those rough years, and
yeah,
that's my memento.
that's cool. Can we see the tat again? Do you,
Yeah, I'm
that's so
trying to
awesome. I need to
trying
get
to get
some.
it a little
Oh,
bit
come
better
on. That's
here.
so cool. And do you have the whole neck on there?
And it's the
Oh,
whole neck
no
up
way.
there, yeah.
Dude, that's
And
awesome.
then I want to get some things added to it, more
Yeah,
music related. So
that's awesome.
yeah, that's like that's my reminder, but it's also my motivation. It's like you keep going, um, and that support's there if you need it.
Yeah, love that, man. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and time with us
Yeah,
today.
thanks. No, I really appreciate it.
You were born to. You